Transformers issue number 6. And let's take a moment and look at this amazing cover as we have Sparky standing on the body of Optimus Prime. If you remember, Prime is about to face off with Devastator. Now let's get into it. We immediately have a quick flashback and we find out what happened to Spike's brother, to Sparkplug's other son. You can see him here. It looks like he's an astronaut. He looks at his father and says, "Don't worry, Dad. Nothing bad is going to happen." And we could see, it looks like the space shuttle is exploding. And that's probably what happened, how he died. And that is why Sparky is dealing with so much depression and emotion and things like that because of the loss of his other son. We then get back to the action. Optimus Prime screaming at his fellow Autobots. We need cover. He's dragging Ratchet while being chased by Devastator. And then in the background, we have Cliff Jumper with Carly. He's screaming, saying, "Optimus, we're on our way." You can see Devastator just trying to stomp on them. And Carly's like, "No, just wait a second. Just stop for a second." And she begins to talk a little bit of reason into Cliff Jumper, saying, "Listen, we're small. We're not the strongest. We're not the most powerful. We need to use our heads if we're going to stay alive." So she points out, she's like, "Let's get into the Ark and maybe we could find something more powerful to use to destroy that thing." So they see this little area that they need to get into so they can get into the Ark. Meanwhile, we have Starscream just laughing at Devastator, trying to stomp out the Autobots. And while he's standing there watching, Optimus Prime comes out of nowhere with a kick to the side of the head. Starscream, no matter what he does, he is just not a good leader. Even though he's my favorite Transformer, he's just not a good leader. He's very chaotic. You know, he just wants death and destruction. And he doesn't think things through. So Prime just lays him out. Then we get a quick shot at Thundercracker, who is still wanting revenge for what has happened to Skywarp, not knowing that it was Starscream. You have Optimus Prime telling Sparky to watch out. And then it happens. Devastator grabs Prime by the leg, picks him up, and slams him onto the ground. Devastator calling him small, weak, and feeble. Prime just being smashed to the ground. The other ones, RC and Ratchet, begin shooting up at Devastator to hope that they could save Optimus Prime. They grab Prime and drag him inside to the Ark. And they're like, "We got to get the door closed." There's Jazz. He's doing everything in his power to push Devastator back. Ratchet, he's like, "I can't crawl fast enough." He's all damaged, his legs. And Devastator grabs Ratchet's other leg. They begin screaming. He's like, "They've got my leg." And Jazz finally hits the button to slam the door shut while ripping Ratchet's leg from his body. You can see it here. And Devastator's hand, he's just like, you know, he's got his legs. So now Soundwave shows up and says, "Hey, listen, let's go to the back of the cave." You know, he's using his smarts, his intelligence, and he's like, it's a little weaker on that side. We can get in and flush them out if we go to the other side. So Devastator heads that way. You got Cliff Jumper and Carly. They're looking through parts of the Ark, and they find a gun. And in comes Starscream. Carly looks over and says, "You killed my dad." And Starscream starts laughing, you know, and he goes, "Wait, what is a dad?" And then you have Cliff Jumper facing off against Starscream. I never thought I'd see this day. I mean, personally, Starscream, if he was a little more level-headed, could wipe the floor of Cliff Jumper and Carly. But no, again, he's so chaotic. And they start their attack. And immediately we get back to Optimus Prime. Oh no, and we're reliving the scene of Transformers, the movie '86, where Prime is laying there and everyone's looking at him. And they're like, I don't know. I don't think we can save him. And I'm like, please don't do this to me again. We're only in issue number 6. Prime is like, man, I'm sorry. He starts apologizing, opens up the Matrix, and he's like, one of you have got to take this. And he drops it on the ground. Sparky, Spike's dad, looks over and he says, if there's anything I can do, I've got to do it. I've got to make the ultimate sacrifice. And I don't know how this works, but he says, take care of my son, take care of my world. And he jumps into the Matrix, causing some kind of spark. I don't know. It just sucked the life force out of him. I'm not sure how this works, but as you can see, it just recharged the entire Matrix. They pick it up, they put it in Prime, and you can see him just healing himself, you know, coming back to full strength. And Prime is like, you will not be forgotten, Sparky. And I promise I will protect your son, and I will protect the whole Earth. Just classic Optimus Prime. And I probably say this every issue. I freaking love it. How they grabbed Optimus Prime. He's like, I'm going to protect everything. Your sacrifice will never go unnoticed. And in comes Devastator, but we don't have a crippled Prime anymore. We've got a focused Prime, a rejuvenated Prime, a powerful Optimus Prime. He's like, I'm going to start with this green demon. As the hand of Devastator and the other Decepticons make their way in, Prime shoots one of the fingers off of Devastator, and it knocks down Thundercracker as well. Prime picks up his other gun and just starts going crazy onto Devastator. He's got his own cannon. He's got Megatron's cannon, and they're just going at it, man. This is awesome. And he's like, nah, I ain't backing down. I ain't running. I'm heading right into the beast. And he does a freaking drop kick to the face. I love the wrestling moves in this. I absolutely love it. Into Devastator and knocks him back down. The action switches back to Starscream and Cliffjumper. Starscream's got the upper hand. And, you know, instead of just killing the Autobot and moving on, Starscream loves to torture, loves to play games, you know, and all that stuff. And while he's got Cliffjumper in a chokehold, Carly manages to pull the trigger of one of the guns laying down, and it pops Starscream right near the face and knocks him down. Cliffjumper then picks up the gun, walks over, and says, I've always wondered what this moment would feel like. Points the gun at Starscream's face. Starscream, typical Starscream, begins to beg and says, please. Carly looks up at Cliffjumper, and Cliffjumper's like, I can't do it. And Carly's like, what? I thought this was what I wanted, but he goes, he killed your entire, he goes, I know, Carly. He killed my dad. He goes, I know all of it. I know. Starscream then is able to get up and grab Carly. He says, you'll both be put to rest soon. And he's squeezing her below the legs. And this just shows the difference between the Autobots and the Decepticons. Cliffjumper, clearly, you know, with morals, with value, saying, I don't want to be him. You know, we're not like them. We're better than them. We're not going to act like them. We're not going to stoop on their level. You know, it's just not who I am. You know, it's just, and I love how they captured that. We immediately get back to the fight everybody wanted to see. Optimus Prime. He's got freaking Megatron's gun cannon on the top while he's transformed into his rig and is just blasting Devastator. Devastator's calling him, you stupid red ant. You coward. Why are you running? But it was all in the plans. All in the plans. And he's like, is that all, Devastator? Just egging him on. And he's like, is that all you got? He's like, yeah, come after me. Let's go. Let's do this. Shooting Devastator. And he's like, that's right. I got something for you. Optimus Prime picks up Devastator and delivers the Mega Body Slam. Unbelievable, dude. I love it. and he just throws Devastator over the cliff. And while he's falling off the cliff, you see Starscream, Carly, they're having a moment. Cliffjumper's like, let her go. Devastator begins to break apart and crumble and crashes on top of Starscream and Carly. And you can see Starscream screaming like, what is going on? Why does this always happen to me? Why? I can never win. It seems like, and they just start tumbling. Cliffjumper reaches out, grabs Carly, saves her, you know? And Carly's still like, you could have ended it. You could have ended it all. She doesn't understand why Cliffjumper couldn't kill Starscream. Devastator, you know? He's not combined anymore. He's back into their 5 different parts. And he's like, don't worry, Starscream, we'll save you. Put Starscream in the back of the dump truck. And then we have this moment with Optimus Prime and Soundwave. He's like, Soundwave, wait. He goes, let's be done with all this fighting. Let's try to save our world together. Reaches out his hand. And immediately Soundwave turns around and tries to punch Prime. And Prime just catches his punch. And he's like, make no mistake, Soundwave. I desire peace, but I am no fool. And immediately Thundercracker picks up Soundwave while he's holding on to Ravage, and off they go. Prime is standing there, says, until next time, Decepticon. And then we get right back into the hospital with Spike waking up from his coma, and he holds up something that he's written down that says, where's my dad? And that is the end of issue number 6. These issues get better and better. And listen, I'm going through this whole thing in one take. So if I stumble across some of my words, I apologize. But I love how Optimus Prime is like, Soundwave is the only one with a level head here. And maybe I can get to him. Maybe there's cracks, you know, in the Decepticon armor. Maybe there's something going on, because they also gave us a sneak peek of the next issue. And look at this cover. You got Starscream. Looks like he's about to crush Ravage. Setting up, man, they're setting up a civil war in the Decepticons. It's gonna get good. I'm telling you. But what did you think? Did you enjoy this issue? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Again, we're getting ready to do Duke, Cobra Commander, Void Rivals. We're gonna knock them all out. I don't know how much time I have, but we're gonna try to get them all on the channel. I know I'm behind, but thank you guys for being with us. This is Jay, and we will catch you next time.